And
See,
yes, good to see it. So there's some because well, let all the audience know that we are still in the pandemic. We are here in Ontario, Uxbridge, Ontario. uh, we've been through the pandemic since almost a year ago, March 2020, and now is February 2021.
yeah.
Yes, and we just fit well, kind of. I don't know what's open, allowed to open, whatever. But we were locked down since December 26th, 2020,
Yeah,
right? So thank you, Glenn, for here today and update our small businesses about what's going
sure
on.
thing. Yes, thanks very much, Annie. I'll just give a brief introduction first. So for those of you here who don't know me, I'm the Rural Economic Development Specialist with the region of Durham. I'm quite new to the role still. I'm just coming up on my 6 months. So I just wanted to give a couple of minutes on a bit of an overview of some of the programs that are available to the business community today. So in terms of the reopening, we're not sure about what's happening with that yet. In the Economic Development Department, we take direction like everybody else from the province and the Durham Health Department about businesses that will be allowed to reopen. So I believe an announcement is coming today about where Durham is going to fall. So our eyes and ears will be open for that. I just wanted to quickly go over a couple of the main grant programs and digital support services that are available to the small business community. So the first one that I'll touch on, and I'm sure a lot of people have heard of most of these, but I just wanted to kind of go over a bit of the eligibility and say that if anyone has any questions about any of these, I'll drop my email in the chat and I'd be happy to point anyone in the right direction. So I'll be real quick because public speaking isn't my forte really, so I'll try to keep it tight. For the grant side of things, there's the Ontario Small Business Support Grant, and this is the grant that was introduced when the lockdown happened as of December 26th. So this is a grant that will provide $10,000 to $20,000 to eligible small businesses. Some of the main eligibility requirements are that you were required to close or significantly restrict services as of the province-wide shutdown on December 26th. You have fewer than 100 employees, and you can prove that you've experienced a 20% revenue decline from April of 2019 to April of 2020. So there are some additional eligibility requirements and some modified ones. So for example, if the business wasn't in business back in April of 2019, there's alternative eligibility. If you can prove that you've experienced a revenue decline for some other months, then you could still qualify. So that one's a great one, and the applications are open. So I highly encourage anybody to apply for that. That's $10,000 to $20,000. Another one that I just wanted to quickly touch on was the Ontario Main Street Relief Grant. So this one is for PPE support. So if your business has between 2 and 9 employees and is in the retail, accommodation and food, gym, laundry service, repair and maintenance, any of those industries, you qualify for a $1,000 grant from the province if you can demonstrate that you've spent on PPE. So there's some additional eligibility, but that is virtually free money to help you guys pay for that cost. So that's something I would highly recommend looking into. And then just some of the other things that I quickly wanted to go over on a bit more of a local level are some of the digital resources that are available. So the one that I really wanted to mention is what's called the Shop Durham Region Online Marketplace. So this has just gone live, and it's an initiative that was led by the Whitby BIA and supported by the region of Durham. And essentially the best way that I like to describe it is kind of like the Amazon of Durham. So it's an online store where the merchants on it are all from Durham, and you can buy things from different stores and pay in one final transaction at the end. So it's really nice if you want to buy an item from a store in Uxbridge and an item from a store in Port Perry. You can pay for it all at the end in one secure transaction. And then each business will arrange a way for you to go and pick it up curbside. Some businesses do also offer a shipping option. So I like to tell this to the business community because this is a completely free thing that the region and the Whitby BIA have set up for you to be a part of. So it's just an extra way to get you selling during these tough times. So there is no cost to be part of the website. The only potential cost would be to have your website. So for example, it links to a Shopify site or a range of other sites. Now, those sites may have their own costs. I know there's like a subscription fee to have a Shopify site. So there'd be no additional fees if you already have a website going. It's pretty much just linking it to this platform. So that's really taking off. There's over 600 products from a range of different merchants from across the region. So if anyone is interested in that, again, I'll drop my email in the chat. Please feel free to contact me and I can put you in contact with the right person. And then the last thing I wanted to quickly touch on was the Downtowns of Durham website. This is another initiative. This one is led by the region of Durham, and it highlights all of the downtowns throughout the region. So I believe it's 14 downtowns if you include the 5 up in the north with Cannington, Sunderland, Beaverton, Uxbridge, and Port Perry, as well as the 9 in the south. And this is a highlight on all of the businesses and things that there are to offer in the downtowns of Durham. We're currently in phase 2 of the website where our marketing team is really focusing on stories from the downtowns. So these are things where people can input, where we have writers who are writing stories on different businesses in the downtown. So a focus on different things. I believe one of the most recent ones was Banjo Cider in Uxbridge. So this is really for return visits to the site. So if anybody has a business that they'd like to see featured on the website, reach out and we can connect you with the people who are in charge of that. I believe there's quite a long queue at the moment for stories, but if you think that your business could have a benefit from being in there, then reach out and we'll get you in the queue because these are doing really well. A lot of people are clicking on these to see these great stories about all the successes that the businesses in Durham region are having through COVID. So I think that's all that I have, Annie. But as I said, I'll drop my email in the chat. And if anyone has any questions or I'd be happy to talk further about any of these programs. Thanks. Oh, I believe you're on mute there, yeah. Annie. There you go.
So one question I have is like, which one the small home-based businesses are eligible to apply out of all these different programs that you mentioned?
Yeah, so with home-based, that I'd have to take a look back at some of the eligibility for those. I believe that for the small business support grant, I don't believe that home business are eligible for that one. And then with the Ontario Main Street Relief Grant, that needs 2 to 9 employees. So if you have more than 1 employee in a home-based business, then I believe they would be eligible for that one if you have to buy PPE to keep everybody safe. But yes, I don't believe that the Ontario Small Business Grant is eligible for small businesses. And there are additional programs that weren't mentioned on the federal level. I believe there is some support for our home-based community there.
Yes, I think if you know the Digital Main Street, they have the educational part, which is like the even home-based businesses are eligible. And I think the Shop Here program within the Digital Main Street.
Yeah, so Digital Main Street, that's one program I didn't mention, but the Shop Here program, where a member of the Digital Service Squad at the Business Advisory Center of Durham will help any business owner, whether it's a home-based or a brick and mortar.
Yes.
They will help them set up an online store. They'll walk you through from beginning to end, setting up the store, how to run it on the back end, everything you need to know from beginning to end, completely free. And that one is available to home-based, and that program actually just got extended through the spring.
Right. And what about the two Durham region website, that marketplace? Like, are they eligible for, but like home-based business too?
So the downtowns of Durham, that one is a bit more focused on downtowns.
Yeah.
So that one might not be the best bet for home-based, but with Shop Durham region, home-based are welcome. I could connect you with our friends over at the Whitby BIA, and they're more than happy to get home-based set up on that site.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's good. So like for my business, which is the Abacus Program Learning Center, I did apply for the digital Main Street digital transformation grant, and I've got the 2,500, which is being used for video editing, which is for the marketing side, and also having Holly written a whole bunch of articles and blog content for me to use for the business, right, to market the business. So that's very helpful. And I have also, just this week, to my surprise, I did get approved for the small business grant, the Ontario small business grant, because of the lockdown. So that's a good news. Yes, and I'm looking into another program that's offered by Digital Main Street. Actually, I get even the consultation is very helpful for me, like for the business.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just an example of how these programs are, real money. People actually get them. It's not just an application where you don't hear back. This is real money for the business community to take advantage of. So I encourage everyone, if you think you're eligible, check out the eligibility, reach out to me and apply, because this can really help.
Yes. So thank you, Glenn, for being here today and update us on all these government assistance or grant. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, Annie.
Thank you.